know this, but I excused myself when you guys were coming in, and it's very important to me every time I have a chance to do this, and I appreciate the kind words, Coach Simpson, I really do, just because, you know, if I can tell you my whole story, which I'm not going to tell you this evening, I'm going to tell you parts of the story, but, you know, I sat out in the truck probably 10 minutes just praying the Lord that, you know, the kids would be affected in here, the parents would be affected in here, because every time I have an opportunity to do this, it's an opportunity for somebody to get a seed. And I want to talk about seeds today, but specifically I want to talk to you about the path principle. So again, I'm glad to be here, and again, what I'd ask all of you is I'm going to share a little bit of my heart. When you expose yourself a little bit in life, you become a little vulnerable, and it can be scary. But in that fear, once you break through that fear, there's a great opportunity for you, and that's a lesson in itself. I'm 18 years old, Lynchburg, Virginia, 1992. And the next time I saw my parents was the day I got married, which was 1999. So imagine being 18 years old in Virginia, grew up in Miami, Florida. Okay, my mom got married when I was young, my father left, and I'm adopted by my father, who raised me, who taught me a lot. And there was also a lot that I learned that wasn't good from that, but it taught me a lot of lessons. But because of the situation of my parents, I made a decision. I made a choice. But when you listen to that, a lot of you may think, you know what, that was an event. But what you have to understand was, what I did was I made a path. So many times in life, you make a choice, but choices aren't really just an event, they're actually a path. And it's important that we kind of go through that and understand the path principle, because here's what I want you to understand. Your direction, not your intention, determines your destination. Let me say it one more time. Your direction, not your intentions, will determine your destination. See, a lot of us in the room here, parents, kids, myself, we have the best intentions. Like Coach mentioned, I wanted to play football in the NFL. That was my intention. I wanted it bad, but wanting it bad is not enough. See, because if you're not moving in the direction that you need to go, you're not going to get to your destination. The fact of the matter is, when I went to college to play football, really my focus was the girls in football. It wasn't education, and it surely wasn't going to the next level. But if you asked me, I thought for certain I was going to go to the next level. That was something that I wanted to do. So we're talking about this path. Now, again, to me, the path principle is biblical. And I'm going to share something with you today. I don't want you to feel like you're in church. I hope I don't offend some of you guys, and I'm not going to get too deep in it. But really it is. But it's kind of like the law of gravity. If I take this clicker and I drop it, what's going to happen? It's going to drop, right? Is it going to drop one at one time? Every single time, correct? The path principle is the same way. It's guaranteed. The decisions you make in the direction you go, not your intention, will determine where you end up. And it's important that you understand that all of us in the room are going to end up somewhere. All of us. Some on purpose, some on accident. We're all going somewhere. We're not standing still. We're either moving forward or we're going backwards every single time. You know, if you look at, you take your parents for example. Parents in the room, I can promise you, there's some parents in the room, if they're like me, if they could go back and change some direction, they would do it, but they all had great intentions. Put it like this, let's say that all of us in the room here live in Atlanta, Georgia, and we prayed about going to the beach, we planned a vacation to go to the beach, we packed the sunscreen, we got the towels, we got everything, we got ready to make the family memories, we load up in the car from Atlanta, we head up north to 85. Are we ever going to get to the beach? You never get to the beach on 85 North. It don't matter what you pack, you can pray till the cows come home. You can intend so bad to go to the beach, but if you're on 85 North from Atlanta, Georgia, you will not get to Miami, Florida. Never going to get there. And your life is so much in the same way that you can say that you want to be great in sports, you want to be great in athletics, but if your direction is not moving, you won't get into the destination that you're looking to get to. If you take, for example, some of you may be 90% pretty good. Like, look, like I've got good intentions, but man, my directions are pretty good. I'm just 10% off. If you're just 10% off in year 1, what happens in year 5? Year 10. But you're 90% good. That 10% could put you light years from where you want to be. It's very, very important. The Bible even talks about it. It talks about it several times. In Proverbs chapter 7, verses 6 to 27. I'm going to paraphrase it. It's a pretty cool story, and I think you should read your Bibles. I think it's good stuff in there. This one's kind of juicy. I mean, it's not shades of gray, but it's kind of, it doesn't take a biblical scholar to find out what's going down in the story. And what happens is, you got Solomon, who is the wisest man of all. This cat's got everything. The money, the women, he's got everything you ever want. Okay, he's been blessed. He's got all this kind of stuff that we would think is the best thing that we would want for our lives, right? And he's watching this story from a window above about this young man walking down the street. He sees him walking down the street, and it's kind of like, have you guys ever seen that deal where like you're in a parking lot, you can see one car coming this way, and another car coming right around the corner, and you're going, oh my gosh, you know what's going to happen, right? And this is what Solomon's doing. He's watching this young boy come down the street, and he's going, oh no, I see what's getting ready to go down. All right? And you look at this story, it's pretty interesting because it talks about, well, let me just read some of it. I'm not going to get into all of it. I want you to read some of it, okay? It says, it's Solomon talking. He said, I was looking out the window of my house one day, and I saw a simple-minded young man who lacks in common sense. So let's stop right there for a minute. A simple-minded young man. What he's saying is young people, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. It's not your fault. Life experience is the only thing that teaches you. So Solomon's saying this cat doesn't have a clue what's about to go down. So he's calling this guy simple-minded, and he lacks in common sense. He was crossing the street near a house, near an immoral woman. He was strolling down the path of her house at dark as it was fading, the night set in. The woman approached him, dressed seductively, sly of heart. She was brash, rebellious type, never stays at home. She often is seen in the streets and the market, in every corner. She throws her arm around him and kissed him with a look and said, I've offered my sacrifices and I just finished my vows. So what does that mean? What she's saying is, she said, hey look, here's the deal. I've already gone to the temple. I've already prayed. God's forgiven my bucket of sins. I'm ready to go. You know, sometimes we do that, right? Where we think, like in the scriptures, John 1:9, it talks about those that ask for forgiveness and God will forgive you. That's what he says. But sometimes I think we can manipulate that. And that's what she's doing. She's saying, hey, I'm good now. I was bad before, but I've already been. She goes on to say that I was looking for you to come out and find you. I was looking to find you, right? So check this out, right? So you got to visualize this scene. It works. Go ahead, Candace.
Electronics in the air, let the screams from everywhere. I'm addicted to the rush. It's a dangerous affair. I'd be scared when it goes down.
Right? So you can see how the stage is set up. Where he's like, look, and even the scripture talks about it. He's got a pile of money, right? And she talks about, hey, my husband's gone. My husband's gone, right? So the deal is as Party Like a Rock Star is playing in this guy's mind, Solomon's going, this is like Jaws. Dun, dun. He sees what's happening, right? But here's the difference. Young people, check this out. Here's the difference. This young kid thinks this is just going to be an event, man. This is just a girl. That's all it's going to be. It's just an event. It's not going to matter. What he doesn't realize is it's a path. It's like if some of you have dabbled in any kind of drug usage or even sex or anything you shouldn't do, and you say to yourself, it's just one time. No. It's a path. It's not an event. It is very, very important for you to realize this is a path. She goes on to talk about what she's ready to do, right? And so this guy, here's the thing, when you go down these paths and you think about what you're doing, here's what happens, right? So you think you're in good shape. She continues to talk about what this is doing to him, and so it says that basically he was like a bird flying into a snare, knowing very little of what this is going to cost him. He was like an ox to the slaughter. Here's what I want to say to you. Sometimes you think things aren't going to affect you, but you're being set up behind the scenes for something that's going to affect your life in a big way. in a big way. So what I would share with you is, most of you are focused on what you are doing. What I would like for you to think about is where you are heading. Focus on what you're doing versus where you're heading. It's a big difference. And I think when you understand that, it can make a huge difference. Let's go to the next slide. So, listen, one more. Okay, so we all know that we realize that your direction, not your intention, determines your destination. So if we know that, fine, Louie, great. What do we need to do to make better decisions? What's some of the keys? First of all, let me tell you, it's a mentality. So we're talking about athletics. So take it to the athletic side. It's a mentality. Take Michael Jordan. Here's here's the difference in a successful mindset and a non-successful mindset. One guy will say, I'm going to shoot 100 shots a day to get better. Michael Jordan says, I'm going to make 100 shots to get better. There's a big difference. One says, I'm going to shoot 100 shots. The other says, I'm going to make 100 shots. It's a mentality. When you look at somebody like Michael Jordan, which that's my era, you guys are like LeBron and Kobe, so but check this out. If you look at some of the great moments Michael Jordan ever had, some people may say, well, I think one of the greatest moments is when he hit that shot against the Cleveland Cavaliers at the buzzer. Or maybe when he hit that shot against Utah to close out the game in the playoffs. But check this out. I think, and I haven't talked to Michael, at least not for a while, I think his greatest moment was when he got cut from the basketball team. When he got cut from the high school team and they said, you weren't good enough, that was one of his greatest moments. I think when he played the Detroit Pistons, before he had Scottie Pippen and Steve Kerr and the rest of the people, and they knocked him out, and he was mad that he didn't go to the next level. That anger, that disappointment, I think that, to me, was probably one of his greatest moments. Go to the next one. So how do we stay on the right path? You gotta have the right people. You gotta have the right people. I refer to them as bakers and butlers. So if you know anything about a baker is somebody that has the recipe and all the ingredients to make a great cake. And I think your coaches, your parents, and other adults that could contribute to your life have the ingredients that you need to succeed. They got them all. We just gotta be willing to listen. Butlers open doors for people. You're gonna run to people that are gonna open up a door. You've got the decision. Is that the path I'm gonna take? Are the people you're hanging around with positive or negative? They dogging people out all the time, making fun of people, being sarcastic, picking on people. Is that somebody that you want to hang with? Are they funny? Yeah, it's kind of funny at somebody else's expense. But is that who you want to hang with? Are people the friends in your life, or the people you know, focused? Are they focused? Are they people that you want to be around? People's a huge piece. Go to the next one. Okay, staying on the right path. Attitude. Now, listen, we can beat this word up, and in sports we hear it all the time. Attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. But let's take it a little bit deeper. Okay, attitude is a choice. It's not a feeling. Okay, so staying on the right path, you gotta make a choice every day. Success has levels. I can speak this from experience. Success has levels. The very first level, in my opinion, of success is you gotta be able to see something. You gotta see it before it happens. You want to be good at basketball, you gotta see yourself being great at basketball before it happens. If you can't see it, it ain't gonna happen. So let me tell you, people that see that vision that I'm talking about. If I had a bag of seeds in my hand, and on the outside of that bag it said apple, and I said, what am I holding in my hand? What would you say? Apple seeds, right? Somebody who sees greatness, they see apple trees. They already see the trees. They already know it could be an orchard of trees. Again, going back to attitude, if you're looking at becoming successful, especially in academics or athletics, I gotta ask you, what's your why? What is your why? Your why would be your purpose. Let me tell you, if you watch basketball, I don't know if you ever noticed Kevin Durant. If you ever notice, LeBron does the little puff with the smoke right with the chalk. If you ever notice Kevin Durant, the first thing he does is he come out and call his name, he hits his numbers in the front, hits him in the back, and he looks up. Now he's playing for a championship, right? But what he's really playing for is his coach. He wears number 35 because his coach in high school is not at 35. He's got a why. There's a reason why he's doing what he's doing deeper than just getting a championship. You gotta make sure you have a why. Why do you play sports? Because someone told you you were good and you should play? Why do you do your homework? Because your mom said you had to do your homework? At some point, you gotta make that decision. Create that why. And again, recognizing that what pulls you away on the path is what grabs your attention. I don't know what her name is, or his, but when it grabs your attention, you're off the path. You're off the path. And again, it's not an event, it's a path. Go to the next case. So we got a T, path, P-A-T. I put on here, trust God. Now, here's what I live by. I love the verse Proverbs 3:5. Lean not on your own understanding, not on in all your ways. He's going to direct the path. So many times in my life, people say, how are you going to do this shit at 35? I said, I don't know. I know I wanted it. Yeah, but how did you do it? I don't know. But then you have a game plan. I worked hard. I mean, talent's God given, skills developed. I mean, I beat my craft up every day. Guess I worked hard. Guess I got up early. Guess I stayed late. How did I get it? I don't know. How does a 35-year-old kid get a car dealership when his father's a roofer? I don't know. But when you trust God, when you trust and let go, here's what I mean more specifically. Those that may not be as faith-based, here's what I will tell you. Anybody watch The Voice? I don't know if you watch The Voice, right? Or American Idol. You will see singers that they get up there and they kind of hold the mic. They can sing now. They know how to sing. And you can say, man, they got a good voice. But they're missing that. I don't know what it is. Athletes, same thing. They got a good jumper, man. They can hit the shot. But they're missing that one, where the coach says, man, stop thinking. Just play. That is where you let it all go. When you get to that point and you say, you know what? I'm going to be vulnerable. Whatever happens is going to happen. I'm letting it all out and I'm going for it. That's what takes you to the next level.
If tomorrow wasn't promised, what would you give for today? Forget everything else. Forget everything else. Forget that there was any sunlight left. What would you spend today?
I want to win, and I don't want to win years from now. Like, I want to win now. And everything that I do, it's only driven by my desire to win.
All I want to do is win. That's always been my goal, win a championship.
Thinking about success, being the best I can be, and being the best in the league. You don't do that by doing what everybody else does.
In any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that inch.
When you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful, as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
So if you ain't pissed off for greatness, that means you okay with being mediocre. There ain't no man okay with being just basic.
Me and KD just trying to get better, man.
Every time you step in the gym, you just have to work hard, and I developed that over time. Now it's becoming more of a job.
All that matters is what you do now. So my thing is just keep improving every year.
You get one opportunity in life, one chance in life, to do whatever you're gonna do, to lay your foundation, to make whatever mark you're gonna make, whatever legacy you're gonna leave your legacy.
You want something, go get it. Period.
It's Parker! Love! Got it! Oh, my. In the hands of Anthony. Anthony for three. Puts it in! Knicks by one with 8.2 remaining.
I want to be great. I'm going to be great.
Throws in the lane. Derrick Rose drives on Barrier, throws it down. James drives right at Ibaka.
Hard work pays off.
And I didn't shortcut anything. You know, I didn't shortcut anything. I took every step, you know, to get to this point, and wow, I'm happy to be here.
This feels amazing because I know how hard it was to get back to this, what they call the mountaintop. So I'm going to enjoy this because nothing is guaranteed. I've seen that. So this is a great feeling.
The Miami Heat are once again NBA champions. LeBron James captures that elusive title he so desperately coveted.
It's impossible to say that one player is the best. You can't do it. Everybody's different. Everybody's great in their own right.
I'd be disappointed not to win a ring, not to finish my career with at least a title.
I can't wait till I win one.
I waited my turn, so hopefully my turn is now.
Winning championship is always pressure, but if you're not ready to embrace that, there's no need for you to be here.
So obviously when you look at some of those guys, you look at some of the, you just hear some of the things that are being mentioned. Leave your mark. Everybody in the room, every young person in the room is uniquely made. Uniquely made. Here's one thing I want you to understand, Ephesians 2:10, you're made perfect. Perfect. Everything about you. I don't care what your friends say, I don't care what, you know, one of the worst things you could ever do is buy into what everybody says about you. Some of you, if you had a friend that talked to yourself, or talk to you the way you talk to yourself, they wouldn't be a friend very long. Some of y'all gotta change the conversation you say to yourself every day. Every day. The margin of succeeding and losing is this big. Whether it's on a football field, basketball court, it's seconds. It's that big. And so the last thing I want to talk about is habits, and we're going to wrap this up. The last one is habits. You got to understand that you form your habits and your habits form you. Now, I want to illustrate something and show you something that maybe it will resonate. When you get up in the morning, one of the habits many of you may have is a hunch. You may hit the snooze button one time. Now, I don't know who does that, but if you're one of those that hit the snooze button one time, what you're saying is no to today. The day gets up, this is the day that he has made. Let's rejoice, man. Let's enjoy it. We say, no, I don't want to get up. We tell it no. You already start your day in a negative format, don't even realize it. That's a habit. It's a small thing, but all these small things create big things in your life, and they all end up adding up. So when you talk about some of the habits, I'll run these real quick. First thing is be proactive in your life. Be proactive, right? Don't wait for mom to tell you to pick up the stuff. Pick up the stuff. You know? I mean, don't wait for someone to say, hey, turn the music down. Can you do your homework? Now, I'm not being on young people because I did the same thing. I'm just saying be proactive. Being proactive is taking personal responsibility. One of the things that goes on in our culture, and some of the young people know what I'm talking about, nothing is our fault anymore. Not my fault. It's always somebody else's fault. They dropped the ball, he took the wrong shot, he didn't listen to the coach, and we never take personal responsibility, and that's a habit if you develop now, will be a destructive path in the future. I'm just telling you, taking personal responsibility. The other thing is to begin with the end in mind. What does that mean? I talk about having a why. One of the things you got to do is begin with the end in mind. What does it look like that you want to be when you grow up? If I ask all of you, some of the young people, you know, I ask some of the guys, what do you want to do? Oh man, I want a hot girlfriend and her father to be rich. You know, you already got it laid out what you want, but that's seeing the end in mind. You know, you got to see what it looks like. Let me explain something to you. You can tell about yourself if you've got a vision by what you say. Because what you say is what you see. It ain't never gonna work. Oh, it never happens to me. It's not fair, because that's what you see. What you say is what you see. So just pay attention to your conversation with yourself, and you'll know exactly the vision you have for yourself. Put first things first. You got young people today, I don't even know how you do it. There's no time to be still. Football, next sport, the next sport, homework, you got school, you got chores, you got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got Snapchat, man, you got all this stuff going on. When are you still? When are you still? I would encourage you to put first things first. Prioritize what's the most important thing to get to where you want to be. Put first, that's a habit. Develop that habit. The next thing is this big win-win. So many times, now listen, I'm in business, and it's a form of weakness when I'm negotiating. When I'm negotiating a deal, buying a car dealership or selling a car, it's a position of weakness if perception if you think win-win. Because if I give up all the information, then he wins. And how's that fair? I look weak. Well, then that's not a win-win, because that's not what I'm saying. I say focus on a win-win. What's good for him? What's good for me? Focus on a win-win. If you look at what goes on in school, it's always about one-upping somebody. Think win-win. Don't settle for win-lose. I'm not saying, well, I'm going to give up the information, or I'm going to be a better person, and then they take advantage of it. No, that's a win-lose. Don't do that. Think win-win. That's another habit you can develop. The last one is sharpen your saw. In athletics, like I said before, talent is God-given, but skill is developed. We have all seen an athlete, and there are probably athletes in this room right now that are not gifted with the best skills, but when they get on that court, you go, whoo, they get it on. It's all heart, it's all effort, it's all beating up their craft. Okay? That's a habit you want to get into. Last thing I want to close with this. Go next to Candace. I want to tell you real quick about a story about a girl. This young girl, this is back in the Depression. And so she goes into this place like Walgreens, Woolsworth. She sees these little plastic pearls. She says, Mom, I want these pearls. She said, Baby, you know we ain't got no money. You know we ain't got no money. She said, Mom, I would love to have these pearls. Mom, I'll do chores, I'll do anything. You know, Grandma gives me $1 once a year. Maybe I use $1, you can give me another $1, I can buy these pearls. Mom, so I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go ahead and get you these pearls. You do some chores. We'll use Grandma's $1. So she does the chores. Grandma gives her $1. She buys these pearls. Loves them. Loves them. Wears them all over the place. Her father comes to her one day and says, Baby girl. He's put her to bed and said, let me get those pearls from you. She says, Daddy, I don't want to give you my pearls, Dad. I just got these. You know, I did chores for these, Dad. I don't want to give you the pearls. He said, okay, baby girl. Gives her a kiss, puts her to bed. About 3 weeks later, he comes back and says, Baby, let Dad get those pearls. Come on, Dad. Will you take the bargain? I don't want to give the pearls. He says, that's fine. That's fine, baby. I just want to see you. Let your father want to see you get the pearls. She said, Dad, I'm going to get the pearls. About a month later, he comes home. She's in the living room crying. He goes up and says, Hey, what's wrong? He said, Daddy, I've been thinking about it, and I think you may not think I love you something. Here's the pearls. He looked at her and smiled and said, Baby girl, he took her with his right hand, and with his left hand, he gave her a box, and inside the box was brand new, real pearls. And he said, Baby girl, he said, what you didn't know that I know is I had these the minute I asked you 3 months ago. But you weren't willing to give up, but you had to get what I had for you. So what I share with you today is, figure out what you need to give up. Because he's got something better for you, but you got to let go for the real thing. Thanks, guys.